Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Sarah Fenske. It's not just your Facebook friends. A whole lot of Americans have turned to pets as they increasingly work from and stay at home. From New York to LA, shelters have reported a huge uptick in people fostering pets and even adopting them. One of those people is Patty Curran of St. Louis City. She and her husband are both working from home, and they're there along with their 3 kids. They seized the pandemic moment to adopt a Great Dane. They've had Great Danes before and loved them. And this one, a pup they named Rocco, is proving no exception.
It's been good. My girls are 8 and 6, and we were definitely just dying to have another dog. He's already very protective of his yard, so you might hear him barking. And then our youngest is 4, and he prefers to have his own space and not be touched. And Rocco, it's like he just knew that from the beginning, so he's really been respecting his space as much as he can, for a 120-pound dog. And we don't live in a huge house, so at times he bumps into him. And then Rocco he warmed up to my husband right away. It's kind of like he knew what each person needed and just kind of filled that role for him. But he's still a puppy. He turned 1 in January, so now that he's getting over his respiratory infection, we are definitely seeing more of that puppy energy. He loves to play. We have a large trampoline in our backyard, and we didn't know he could get in there on his own. So he loves being on the trampoline with the kids and chasing bubbles with the kids and climbing in the sandbox. So he's been a really great addition and great fit, and I'm sure we'll learn more about his personality as he gets more settled.
That's Patty Curran. They recently adopted Rocco the Great Dane, and you could probably hear him barking there in the background as she talked to our producer. And Patty urges anyone who's on the fence to go for it.
This is certainly, if you're ever thinking about a pet, there's certainly no better time than while we're all home. And I'm sure it does, hopefully it helps out the shelters too, just, fewer employees to take care of the animals so that everybody can be safe. So yeah, now is a great time to bring home a new family member.
And here to discuss how those shelters are doing and how you could follow in Patty's footsteps is Kathy Warnick. She's the president of the Humane Society of Missouri. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great to be with you.
How much increased interest have you seen in people wanting to adopt pets?
We have seen a tremendous uptick in terms of public interest in adopting or fostering pets, and we're very happy at the Humane Society of Missouri that we've been most creative in finding ways in which we can allow the members of the public to adopt pets.
Are you seeing people who want to start with fostering and see how it goes, or are people diving all in and they think they're ready for an adoption right away?
The majority are diving in head first and adopting right away, and we're delighted with that. We have instituted something called Curbside adoptions at the Humane Society of Missouri, and that is going beautifully. We are enabling people or encouraging them to go to our website, hsmo.org, to see what pets are available for adoption. Then they fill out an interest form, and if they wish to adopt that animal, they can call either our headquarters on Mackland Avenue or our Best Buddy Center in Maryland Heights, and they can do the interview process, the screening process over the telephone, and then we arrange a time for them to come to pick up their pet, just like Patty did with Rocco.
Well, if you've adopted a pet during this pandemic, we're interested in hearing from you. You can give us a call at 314-382-8255. That's 382-TALK. Or you can send us a tweet at STL on air, or you can email us at talk@stlpublicradio.org. Now, on that note, our producer, Laura Hamden, talked yesterday to Timothy Battles of Florissant, and he adopted an American bulldog he named Morpheus on the very first day that the Humane Society offered that curbside pickup. I guess that was last Wednesday. Morpheus was his 4th dog.
We've had this Matrix theme going between my daughters and myself of dogs. We have a Neo, and we have a Trinity, and we have an Agent Smith. And I've always been looking for a Morpheus, and that was always going to be an American Bulldog. So right before the Humane Society started doing their curbside, I think 2 days before, I saw Morpheus on the website, and I contacted the Humane Society, and things were a little bit chaotic because they weren't sure what they were going to do. And then I had called the day before to get Morpheus, and they told me that, well, they were suspending the program indefinitely. And then I was just listening to the news, and they had mentioned that the Humane Society was going to be doing Curbside. So that morning I woke up and contacted the Humane Society and filled out the appropriate information and was able to do the Curbside adoption.
And that's Timothy Battles of Florissant. Laura asked him if he got to meet Morpheus before the pickup.
No, I didn't, but I'd been researching the breed for quite a long time, and considering he was a full breed, I kind of knew the personality of the breed. And then I had an opportunity to do a review with the Humane Society, and they were able to give me the Morpheus's history, some of it good, some of it bad. But I got a good sense from them that he had a calm personality, and he certainly does. So it worked out well.
And Timothy Battles explained how the Humane Society practiced social distancing even during that curbside pickup.
And they brought Morpheus out on a leash, and then I took actually 2 leashes, and then they held one leash, and I grabbed the other leash, and then they let go of one leash and got him right in the car. So for their first day doing it, they did a pretty amazing job.
And that was Timothy Battles of Florissant. Kathy, that must be great to hear that he's giving you high marks for how you handled this whole thing.
That is music to my ears, and we are delighted. We're getting great feedback from all of our curbside adopters. We have adopted more than 150 animals at both of our locations via the curbside adoptions, and we also have special pricing going on now. It's only $25 for adult dogs or $10 for adult cats, and we are really, really pleased with the response from members of the public. And it's so great right now when people have the opportunity to spend a lot of time with their new pet. Pets are such a terrific source of companionship and giving us something to provide care for. And pets they make you feel safe, and they provide such a sense of constancy in this somewhat tumultuous world right now. And it really, really is most gratifying to hear the wonderful stories coming back from our pet adopters. And they really, pets don't care if you haven't washed your hair that day. They don't care what you look like. They are just there to provide love and comfort to their owners. And we are really, really pleased with the response from the St. Louis community with regard to helping us get as many pets into great homes as we possibly can at this point in time.
I'm going to go to the phone lines. Mary is calling from, I believe she works with Needy Paws Rescue here in St. Louis. Mary, hi, you're on St. Louis on the Air.
Hi.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you. And I was listening to some of the ideas and things that are happening. And one of the things that I just wanted to let you know about that what Needy Paws Rescue is doing, because we do in not the time of virus, but when we had to do our home visits and go to people's homes and meet and greet and do all that. Now with the way it is now, we can't do any of that. So one of the volunteers came up with the idea of using Zoom. So they set it up now so that we do our reference calls, as we usually do. But now when someone applies for one of our dogs, they get them set up on Zoom so they can talk to the adopter face-to-face, like FaceTime. We can see their home through FaceTime. It's almost like a home visit. We're able to have the dog, that they can see the dog and almost like visit with the dog over Zoom. And then if they still would like to meet the dog, then some of the things that they're doing is meeting in parks, staying at 6 foot, 8 foot away, kind of like similar to what the gentleman said about the leash and stuff, where you're really not coming in contact with anyone. And it's been amazing because we are adopting a lot of dogs out.
Well, Mary, that's so great to hear, and that's great to hear the creativity that you all are putting into this. I'm really impressed. It feels like it would be easy to just throw up your hands in the air and say, okay, we can't do this now. But you guys have found ways to get around the distance that we're all feeling.
Yes. And they haven't gotten this far yet, but the volunteers also, and we got some really smart volunteers, they have figured a lot of this out. They said that they want to do an adoption event through Zoom. So they're working on it so that there's different rooms in Zoom, and I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work, but we can put all our dogs in different areas on Zoom and have people come in and then meet the dogs. So they're getting real creative.
That is so great to hear. Well, good work on the part of the Needy Paws Rescue. And Mary, thank you for that call. Laura is calling from Maryland Heights. Laura, hi, you're on St. Louis on the Air.
Hi, I just wanted to call in and give my 2 cents about what a great experience it has been for my family, because we recently adopted a dog from the Humane Society out in Maryland Heights. Coincidentally, right before all the coronavirus and everything shut everything down and before the curbside. But we've only had him with us.
So you were ahead of the curve on this.
Right. But we've had him for a few weeks, and he's been with us the whole time the schools have been shut down. And with my 3 little boys, it has been such a positive experience to have this animal in the house that gets them out, gets them walking, gives them a reason to be excited about home, creates this strong bond. And it's just an experience that I would recommend for anybody who's stuck at home right now. There's really no better way to bond with an animal than just being there with them.
Laura, that does sound great. And I think especially with having 3 boys, all the energy in your house must be something. But are you a little worried about when you have to go back to your real routines and the boys are back in school and people aren't in the home all day, that might be a real tough adjustment for just making sure this dog continues to get all the attention that he or she's used to?
Well, that was a consideration that we took into before we adopted the dog because, again, we didn't realize everything was going to shut down. And I have the benefit of having a flexible work arrangement where I'm able to work from home a good amount of the time. So that was something that I was willing to take on even before we knew that we would have to all be at home for an indefinite period of time.
Well, that is really good to hear. And congratulations on the new member of your family. I think that's terrific.
I do have to say, he is wonderful. And the pets you guys have to offer are just great to add to the family.
Kathy, that is a compliment to your pet stock.
Well, we are so pleased to hear that, and we do everything prior to the pet being put up for adoption. They are checked out medically, given all of their immunizations. They are absolutely checked out from head to toe to make sure that they are healthy and behaviorally sound. So when we put a pet up for adoption at the Humane Society of Missouri, we are confident that that pet is going to make a wonderful, wonderful addition to any individual or family situation.
I want to go back to the phone lines. Rich is calling from Bevo. Rich, hi, you're on St. Louis on the Air.
Hi, Sarah. The show's really great today with all the information we got, especially about these animals. I have a pet that I adopted from the Humane Society. She is due her inoculations and checkup next month. How is the Humane Society dealing with regular veterinary care?
That is a great question. And Kathy, could you speak to that?
Yes, I certainly can. Our Animal Medical Center of Mid-America at the Humane Society is still open, up, running, and available for veterinary appointments. And they can reach AMCMA by going to amcma.org or calling 314-951-1534. And the only change that we have made is that people are asked when they pull up to our facilities to text or call when they arrive, and instead of coming into the building with their animal, we are asking them to stay in their cars. We will come to their car, get their pet, bring it into the building for the checkup, for the immunizations or whatever is needed, and then we'll return the animal to the car. And we also are offering the same thing if people need to pick up medications or special food for their animal. So it is a very, very efficient system. We are full steam ahead at the Animal Medical Center of Mid-America and are seeing literally hundreds of clients so that we can keep those dogs and cats in St. Louis healthy and happy.
Well, that is great to hear. And Rich, thank you for that question. So veterinary service is definitely an essential service at this time, and people shouldn't scrimp on that. Kathy, last question for you today. What would you want people to think about when it comes to the question of whether or not to add another animal to their family during this time?
This time is absolutely terrific to add a pet to your family. It will enable the pet to become adjusted much more readily than if you have to go to work every day and leave the pet by itself. It is a wonderful time to get out with your new pet and exercise and just have fun with them. Exercise, play, and do all the great things that pets bring to your life in terms of just bringing such joy and happiness to people. So I would say go for it.
So Kathy says go for it. Well, Kathy Warnick, president of the Humane Society of Missouri, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great to be with you, Sarah.
And we also wanted to mention Jana called from Wentzville, and while we don't have time to take her call, she did have a great message we want to pass on, and that is don't forget the kitty cats. It's not just dogs, even if we're hearing from dog people today. Still, though, on that note, we're going to go out of the show today with the song Gonna Buy Me a Dog. That is by the Monkees, and here's hoping that it puts a little smile on your face.
I'm gonna buy me a dog. A dog? Why? 'Cause I need a friend now. I'm gonna buy me a dog. My girl, no love, no how. Don't ruin my song. It's the only song I have. Where's the verse? She used to bring me my news.
And podcast episodes of St. Louis on the Air are available at stlpublicradio.org, or you can subscribe for free wherever you get your podcasts. St. Louis on the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWMU. Thank you for listening. I'm Sarah Fenske.
1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hike! Hike!
The Gateway brings you the day's news from the St. Louis region and across Missouri. It also includes stories from the Illinois side of the river and our Metro East reporter, Will Bauer.
In Alton, in Belleville, in East St. Louis, in Edwardsville, in Cahokia Heights, at Scott Air Force Base, I'm Will Bauer. St. Louis Public Radio.
Listen to reports from Will and all of our journalists weekdays on the Gateway, on the STLPR app, and wherever you get podcasts.